obviously on the show, JD and I, we interview a lot of our players, be it past Chiefs players, current Chiefs players. We want to give a shout out to our guys, CJ Hansen, McCade, and Nazeeh Johnson all made the team. McCade on injured reserve. And then we want to give a shout out to Deneric Prince, Jaaron Hayek, and Cornell Powell, who, did not make the team and did not make the practice squad, but they still are a friend of the show, will always be a friend of the show. So
absolutely. No question about it. No question about it. So that's, those guys, and that's why we feel so deeply about these guys, because they're real people, real lives. And there's guys, there's men now that are crying their hearts out, trying to figure things out for themselves. And I just want people around them, just hug them, okay, support them, and just let them know how much they're loved. It's not about what they do, okay? It's about who they are, and they're more than just football players. They're more than just a jersey, but they need to know that. And sometimes, when you've made this your identity for such a long time, you feel like that's who you are, and thinking this is a failure can really weigh on you a whole lot. So just those guys, like you said, put your arms around them, you talk to them, tell them, hey man, great job. If you follow them on Twitter, you let them know how much you appreciated them. Okay, I think I see somebody say how much you just respected them. And so I don't care if they was in a Chiefs uniform for 1 second to 100 years, whatever it may be. Okay, they were a part of the Chiefs kingdom and the family. And I think we need to pay homage to that, though. So,
100%, JD. It goes a long way. I know sometimes these players, you don't think they see the tweets because they don't respond, they don't favorite it. They see it. It goes their notifications. They see it one way or another. They may see it today. They may see it in 5 months from now when they open up their Twitter. It goes a long way for sure. So that's why yesterday when KT got cut, I made sure to, pull up the famous punt return in the Super Bowl, the longest punt return in Super Bowl history. Because at the end of the day, no matter what you may think about KT's tenure in Kansas City, disappointing or not, he still has a play that's going to live forever in Chief infamy, and it was that play, and it will always remember that play.
Absolutely, 100%, man. And so I respect him for everything he's given, So appreciate it.
Sad for a lot of these guys who may not get picked up, may see their dreams kind of go to the wayside and maybe go to play in the CFL or UFL. But I like what we've done on the roster, but I'm also, my heart breaks for a lot of these guys that, are, kind of losing down their dreams these last few days.
Yeah, I agree. And really that's where I want to kind of start this whole thing off. In just really commending the guys for coming out, doing their best, giving it their all to try to make an NFL roster with the Chiefs or anywhere else. The reality is, man, there was 35 guys released, 32 teams. I think that's right. They lost their jobs yesterday, Marcus. Last couple of days, they lost their job in the NFL. So that's 1,120 people. 1,120 people that lost their job. Now, 512 of them will get their job back on practice squad through different transactions and whatnot. But for the guys who this may be their last chance and opportunity to put on an NFL jersey. And so what I want people to understand is it's very hard and tough when you just been working all your life to do something. You put all the effort and time, sweat equity, blood, and sacrifices to try to accomplish being in the NFL, and it doesn't come to fruition. And I just wanted to really, tell the guys, man, don't give up. You continue with the same type of vigor that you came into this game, the same type of passion that you had and drive that got you to this place, to not give up. And the reality is that some of them will, this may be it. This may be it. So it's a hard pill to swallow. It really is. And it comes to all of us at some point in time, Mark. It comes to all of us at some point in time. And the reality is, how do you deal with that? How do you bounce back from something that you worked so hard to try to achieve and it just didn't come, it didn't happen? And so I just want to be out here first to encourage the guys, like I said, to just keep going. And if it is something that, this ain't your calling and you don't, you're not going to be able to make it. And some guys will hang up their cleats and figure out something else to do with their life. I just want to continue to encourage them, man, and just give them a pat on their back, man, and just let them know, like, first off, this ain't all who you are, okay? This ain't all who you are. You're more than just a football player. I want guys to understand that, right? You're a father, a brother, a son, a friend, other places. You have other value other than just being football players, okay? And I tell you what, and the reason I wanted to start it off with this is because, for football players, guys that's making this your career, sometimes you make this your identity, okay? And people look at you like that all the time as your identity. And it is partially true. That's part of who you are, right? No separating that, and you shouldn't. You should be very proud of the things you've been able to accomplish up until now. There's only a few number of people who have actually been in the NFL. I mean, when I'm talking about a select few, man, that is an absolute privilege to play in the NFL. So that needs to be said. But there's more facet to you than just this on the football field. And I want guys to explore that. So don't look at it as something as failure. Don't look at it as something that is negative. You've done something that other people just haven't been able to had a chance to do. Okay. And so you got to look at it as something that was well done. But I encourage you to keep going. And if this is the end of it, then hey, be glad at where you're at right now. Okay. And tell yourself that you all right. You good with this. Okay. So that's important, man. It's important. That's a lot of pressure. That is a lot of pressure. But people don't quite understand because your family's riding on it. People want you to be successful. People want you to fail. There's a lot of it that goes on that people are trying to get other people out of certain situations. They're trying to make their lives better. And so I just want them to know, man, that this isn't the end at no point. Okay. Just keep going. So that's all I wanted to say, man. I know they're feeling. Go ahead.
I wanted to kind of piggyback what you were saying with this whole thing. It's interesting, we both were thinking, to talk about that initially before we talk, because I think we talked about this before, how, how different like our everyday lives are versus NFL players. Whereas like the guy gets fired or a female gets fired at a job, it's not Adam Schefter retweeting it. It's not all these analysts posting it out there, these insiders. You lose your job, that's it. You go home, that's it. And yes, it's not great. But the fact that the whole world, and you have some people who are celebrating it, some people who are, unhappy about it. But yeah, it's one thing that, and I think we need to kind of, I don't know, at some point, whoever, makes these words up and phrases up, but at the end of the NFL season, that Monday, they call Black Monday for the coaches who get fired.
Yeah.
But for the NFL, it's called Cut Down Day. And it's like supposed to be a celebrated kind of thing. It's like, yesterday and today it has been a Black Tuesday and a Black Wednesday for many of these guys. It's tough times. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.